McCreath took him on at mid-on, but I'm not sure you want to take on him or Road Powdle. If he'd picked that up cleanly and thrown down the stumps, he probably would have been run out by a distance.
Yeah, I think he was well short. There was hesitation, and he might have been in real trouble there, but I think he's just slipped a little bit. Bruttel. Yeah, these two struggling to get going.
Oh, beauty, real beauty. Rijan Dakal's comeback spell going to be an important one here. Yeah, a couple of other things to mention as well. Not just Stuart Law as the new head coach, but also Gyanendra Malla, the former captain, is the assistant coach. And the leg side, good tumbling stop from Asif Sheikh. And something was fascinating to see what happened when Stuart Law came into place. They took 60 players, Mel. Well, best part of 60, I think it might have been 56 actually. Separated them into 4 squads, named them after 4 colours, went up to the Mulpani, because the TU ground is undergoing significant renovation, and the benefit of the Mulpani, you've got the lower ground and the upper ground. So they used those 4 squads then to play out against each other, almost in kind of virtual trials, and it meant that Stuart Law got to see all the players straight off the bat.
Yeah, I was actually reading about that. They were calling it a high-intensity core camp. Yeah, 52 players. And the fact that they had quite seasoned players in there as well as new talent coming through, and it was almost like an extended, I guess, audition process, or just to try and expose and get an understanding of the depth of talent that exists in the country. So just bringing your attention to that both 9 of 21, Cross and McCreath, and that is just emphasising the fact I do think it's difficult to get yourself in on this pitch, especially when they're bowling well.
What better time than to get Dipender Singh Ori into the attack as a misfield, a rare thing. You won't see that too often from the outfield in Nepal. Arif Sheikh just lets that fumble through his hands. End of the 33rd, it is 180 for 4. Get a look at the bowling options for Nepal. Still nothing from Dipender Singh Ori. No Rohit Powdle, of course, either. He's very much an option with his off breaks. And maybe most surprisingly, no Gulshan Jha.
So 6 used so far. What's your unders and overs on how many they'll end up using? What do you reckon?
They'll probably end up using 7. Gulshan or Dipender surely will be given a bowl at some point. But he seems very much to want to continue to rotate his more experienced bowlers. The other problem is, historically, over the last 3 or 4 years, they've had real death bowling issues, real problems at the end of the innings. And Karen KC and Kami, for all their qualities, Kami has been used a bit more effectively at the death, but they won't use Karen KC at the death. So it's tended to be kind of Sampal Kami and Dipender Singh Ori as the 2 primary death options. Gulshan Jha has done a little bit of it as well. And Sandeep Lamachani's actually done it too. So I think what we're seeing is Rohit wants to get his overs of Karen KC used up, but I can't quite explain the lack of use of Gulshan Jha or Dipender Singh Ori for the moment.
And this is the time too. You do feel that this is a vulnerable time for Scotland. Both these players just not really getting going, but the longer they're out there.
Yeah, big appeal, and umpire Ghazi is unmoved. Lee McCreath seems to indicate it might have flicked possibly the trouser or something on the thigh pad. Or the pad, is it? No bat there.
They seemed absolutely convinced. That was probably the most vocal of the various appeals that we've had. But yeah, just if you even go back to Charlie Tier himself, it took him a while to really get going. It took McMullen quite a while to get going.
Good phase this for Nepal. They're fighting hard in conditions that are not easy for them. What do you think, on what looks like a good batting surface, what do you think they can realistically try and chase down?
Well, I mean, I felt like that in the 300 to 350 looked like it would be a score that you'd want to get yourselves to, but just this period here has really put the squeeze on Scotland. I still think they have got power to come, though. I think they'll certainly want to be trying to keep Scotland under 320. Again, early on in the innings, we did see there would be some swing early on with the two new balls. Scotland have certainly got options when it comes to swing, and we may well see too, when the likes of Brandon McMullen is bowling, Matt Cross standing up to the stumps. We know he does that a lot to Scotland's bowlers, and very effectively too.
Just seeing if we can see Gyanendra Malla there. He's all wrapped up, is he? Somewhere near Raman Koti, the long-standing team analyst and manager. And also big shout-outs for a man who's taken his curtain call from cricket in Nepal, Vikram Napani, the long-standing team physio. Wonderful man. And he is, I think he did over 5 years altogether. Our screen is not very bright next to us, trying to see where the former Nepal captain, Gyanendra Malla, is. There he is. I think he's on the left of shot, is he? He's all wrapped up. Everyone is all wrapped up, to say the least. Not conditions that they're used to in Nepal.
Yeah, including me. You've got your hoodie on your lap. As you're wrapped up in your puffer jacket. I'm now on my 4 layers, and I don't have any more to put on. But I'm eyeing your beanie hat.
It is absolutely freezing, I promise you that. I've got 2 beanies today, the Kevin O'Brien Cricket Academy one and the Cricket Ireland one that I was gifted last week during that West Indies series, so I can lend you one of them.
Well, I managed to get my hands on one of those beanies, Cricket Ireland beanies, when I was over there for the women's series against England last summer.
Swept around the corner, going to be swept for 4. It's a good stroke. Kushal Bertel brought back into the attack. It's an attacking option from Rohit Powell, but Cross immediately puts away what was a pretty poor delivery.
First one in a while. It's been very tight in this period after Richie Berrington was out. And, that one though, just sat up nicely. Strain down the leg side, a little bit too straight. Cross makes no mistake.
Probably not a bad time, Mel, just to alert people to those who are watching. You do want to get in touch, you can use that hashtag CWCL2. Lovely to hear. Plenty of messages already from right the way across Nepal. And one of the things I love covering Nepal games, not just those in Nepal, but then they have an incredibly large diaspora around the world, Mel. North America, Europe, all parts of Europe. Down in Australia, there's a huge Nepalese community, and in New Zealand too. In the Middle East, plenty of Nepalese workers too. So get in touch, use that hashtag CWCL2. If you want to get in touch directly, you can get me, Andrew Leonard, at Cricket Badge. You can send a tweet or a direct message on Instagram. Mel Farrell is, what are you, at Melinda Farrell, aren't you?
Yes, I am at Melinda Farrell. It's
good surname, good Irish surname.
well, of course it is.
You've got some Irish roots in there
Oh
somewhere.
my goodness, very, very much so, I can tell you, from County Kilkenny, my
There you
lot.
go. Lovely.
Got a couple of convicts in the family as well, very proud of that.
Expect no less, Mel. Patel into his 4th over. But yeah, if you have any questions, we'll try and get to those. Might be in the second innings, but we'll try to get to those in this second power play before we get into the slog overs at the death. Nepal continue to fight hard here. Love a fifth wicket, wouldn't they, if they could just get another new man to the crease. Creeth has taken a long way to kind of get in. This was very much what he did in the Netherlands. He accumulated runs, but quite slowly, and Scotland might just want to think about shifting gears. But if you have any questions about the structure of this tournament, Nepal's chances over the next 24 remaining ODIs that they have across the 2 years or 18 months or so now, or anything else at all, get in touch with me, Andrew Leonard, or Mel Farrell, my co-commentator, hashtag CWCL2. We'll get to those questions as we can. 35 bowled, it's 190 for 4.
आधा घंटा पहले छोड़ लो तो गिरिया रूम में से भाग गया है परियो सब लोग आते रहो जो लेटर वाले कभी बिगड़े वाले रूम में पुगिन सर मान से त्यो मुरली झारा था त्यो मुरली राखा था त्यो माटी को सफाई करा था तला पनि यो गरे
Will be time for that 7th bowler. Gulshan Jad's going to be not Dipendra Singh Airi. Maybe we'll see the big, tall young all-rounder who remarkably is still a teenager. Might see him bowl at death a little bit. He'll come in from the pavilion end. Then for Creeth and Cross, they might use the extra pace on the ball that will come from Gulshan Jad to try and create some run scoring opportunities. Big last 15 overs these. Anything under 300 from Nepal. Oh, edge just shy of a diving Asif Sheikh, who does really well. Probably saves 3 runs in the end with that effort. Never carried, right off the toe of the bat from Matthew Cross. Definitely not a chance, but a good tumbling, sprawling effort from Asif Sheikh. Fuller this time, driven straight to Paddle. Really good fight back. This is a strong fight back. If you are getting in touch, sending in those messages, just ask you one favour. Let us know where you're watching from. What part of the world are you watching on from? A different part of Nepal, or are you in America, or which part of the world are you in? And how are you enjoying the action? And what do you think the total will be? Need to see the messages flooding in now. We'll get to some of those as we can. Coming in a good hard length is Gulshan Jad. Won't get the second. Scotland just going through a lull here. The last sort of 10 overs or so, there hasn't really been much going for them. Karen KC finding the double breakthrough from 2 inside 3 overs. He's been the pick of the bowlers, 2 for 28 for him. It's been now 9 overs since Richie Barrington was dismissed. Only added 33 runs of Scotland as Dipendra Singh Airi. Oh, he's such a live wire, isn't he? Just see if we can get one more look at it here. I think it was Airi going quickly to his right, wasn't it? Picking up one-handed. Good first over though, good impact from Gulshan Ja hitting the bat very hard. Good start, Mel Farrell from Ja. Just 3 runs from that over. 193 for 4.
Yeah, you can just pick up on the body language of the Scotland